Hello everyone, I'm the Mastermind74 back again doing another Destiny Prison of Elders solo guide, this time we're covering the Forever Eater level 34 arena. Without any hassle, let's just get straight into the video. So as per usual, I like to show you my loadout. So this is the build that I'm running. It's the same as all the other videos that I've done so far, and the weapons that you're seeing are pretty much all the same as well. So a little note is the reason why you'll see that I have so many engrams on me is because I did actually try to do this arena already, and that's why I have some of these axiomatic beads as well. And what happened was I got up to round 4, and then because I was at my university accommodation, some idiot decided to like vape in his room or something, and it triggered the fire alarm, and then protocol is you have to evacuate regardless of what happens. So unfortunately that attempt was just dead at that point, and when I came back it was like, yeah, you've been kicked to orbit because you've been inactive for so long. So that kind of sucks ass, to be honest. Also, I'm experimenting with a different video editor. My gaming PC is, having a lot of trouble with Windows 10. So I'll be trying something called Qodron Live and trying to render this video using Ubuntu on my gaming PC. So anyway, first round we have a Vex boss, because you can tell it's a boss since the Warden's Servitor doesn't actually show up. So that's a telltale sign that we're dealing with a boss. And there's like 3 bosses in the 5 rounds of this arena, so there's not really much to say to the strategy. In my case, it's just camp in one spot and shoot him in the chest repeatedly until he dies. And naturally, because I'm not really paying attention to what the modifier was, I completely forgot what it was, so my apologies there. Though it might have been Brawler or something, so you get extra melee damage. But yeah, that's a bit of a strategic sunspot right there to try and kill the enemies as they come out the spawn. I think there's a little glitch I'll show later, which is like the first time I've ever noticed this. It's on par with that like glitched geometry in the Fallen arena. It's like, why is that there? Why does this happen? So maybe I'll cover that in a little bit, but you'll know it when you see it. So unless it's Catapult, in which case you get your grenades back faster. I think that's the modifier that's on, sorry, not Brawler. So yeah, if you have your grenades, then use them, because then they're going to come back faster. So my strategy is to go into this area over here, and usually I camp further off to the right, though for this arena I just like to camp around where I just was. Mostly because if you get the right position down, then he doesn't even shoot at you. So it's only the mobs, if you will, that actually do anything to you. And you're in a position where you can basically hit him in his critical hit spot and he can't do a damn thing to hurt you. But in a situation like this, it's just like, got a blast radius and it's just, shooting at where you want to go. And it causes some problems. So yeah, it's just a matter of killing the enemies, man. That's all you can do. So of course I could use a super and then kill the major enemies, since you get extra super energy from killing the majors. I just choose to use my super when I feel it's necessary to do so, whether that be a crowd of enemies or I just want to, deal some massive damage to the boss. Like here, for instance, it's like, yeah, got a cluster of enemies, good time to use a super, and then just get a couple hits on the boss as well, just to get some damage done and haze and vengeance his ass up as well. But of course the problem with my build is that the recovery is exceedingly low, so unfortunately it means that it takes a while for your shields and that to come back, so you gotta be very careful that you don't lose all your health very quickly. But this is what I'm talking about. You can get in a nice position, you can hit his critical hit spot, and he can't even do a damn thing to hurt you until the mobs spawn in, like they're doing right now. So that's kind of what that's my strategy, at least, try and get that to happen. Haze and Vengeance those guys up. Of course, the hobgoblins do their flame shield, so you can't hurt them. Plenty of special ammo right there if I actually needed it. And the one bad thing about using Ubuntu as well, I just noticed, is that it's going to try and fade to black and lock me out of my PC, so I can't see what's going on. So I have to periodically just keep an eye on the mouse. But anyway, so yeah, it's just a matter of killing all the enemies. That's why this boss fight's long. It's not necessarily difficult, it's just you have to do 3 boss fights, and that's why this video is going to be as long as it is. Again, trying to use a strategic super to kill some of the enemies. I think I exclusively killed the enemies that time. Thought I had a rocket, didn't. Now I've got to try and retreat because I'm taking massive damage. But try and get to that spot again where he can't hurt you, but you can hurt him by hitting his critical hit spot a lot. And you'll do this with relative ease. And I think this is me using the full auto capabilities of the Vision of Confluence, which I very rarely use because I like to use scout rifles as a single tap, like a semi-automatic gun. You know, it's just like you tap it as fast as you conceivably can, as opposed to press and hold the fire button, because I associate that with more, you know, auto rifles and that, but not scout rifles. So nearly got messed up there. 2 hobgoblins getting me from 2 different angles. It's not good. I don't know if I show that glitch. I'm sure I'm going to eventually, but yeah, it's quite weird when you see it. And again, this is like the first time I've ever noticed it. And it was doing this arena actually, so you learn something new every time you play a game like this, all the glitched up geometry and all that. But I think the last wave of reinforcements should be coming in right around now. No, I don't show it there. It's right around where I am. There's a corner, and if you stand on the corner, then the level geometry just like completely disappears. So I guess that's something called area portals, and I remember playing Portal, something similar happens where if you like get a door off its hinges and you close it, then you see this like weird effect basically, where it's just, yeah, it's because you're seeing into the void and the game doesn't know how to handle it. But I guess I'll cover it later because I'm just about to beat the boss now, so hopefully if the audio synced up correctly, I said now as soon as I killed the boss, because that's pretty much what I'm seeing right now. But yeah, that's just how you beat the first round at least. You just sit there and shoot at the critical hit spot until he dies. There's really nothing more to it. And that's why it takes like 6.5 minutes to do that. But not too bad, I must admit. So now we just got to get back to the airlock, so just, yeah, wasting time here. Got another 30 minutes to go or something, I'm sure, of this arena, so don't want to be wasting too much time with the recording here. And of course the second round is Vex again. Yeah. So as this is a Vex-centric arena, they're bound to throw a lot of Vex enemies at you. So just saw the modifier was Void Burn, so obviously it means void damage from any source is greatly increased. So the only void weapons I have is a Void Sniper and a Void Rocket Launcher. Thankfully there's a hell of a lot of special ammo since I didn't die, or that ammo to the right of me is going to be there still. Though I think what I choose to do here is to try and destroy the mines that slow you down, just so, you know, I don't actually have to do a critical objective and then it's just, yeah, there's just mines everywhere that slow you down. So at this point, just kill the enemies. Even without void damage, you can still do, you know, a lot of damage to them. So try and use a sniper if you can. As you see, there's more of these Axis goblins this time around, which are higher health bar goblins, but looked like I just sniped the head off the guy that was in front of me. Obviously this means I can't aim with a sniper, so you'll see that a lot as well. Some bad attempts at using a sniper. See, like that was a miss. That hit the guy in the back, and then I hit the guy that I was aiming for. So it's supposed to be like one shot, and I used like 3 instead. And again, trying to use a sniper. That time that did what I wanted it to. And I'll try no scoping with a sniper as well, and you'll see how well that actually works out for me. But thank God for that special ammo there, since I'm pretty much going to have a full set of sniper ammo at any given time, which is helpful. Especially as I think there's Minotaurs that spawn in as well. So if they have void shields, they do void damage, so you want to avoid them, but then, you know, kill them as fast as possible. Now, of course, the critical objective is to dismantle mines. Now, I have commented in the past that I really don't like the dismantle mine objectives. However, you know, sometimes they're okay dependent on the arena that you're in. And in this case, since it's the Vex arena, it's kind of okay, since all the dismantle mine positions are relatively close together. So this is an instance where you can really notice the low recovery and how much it can screw you up, just like it did right there. It took a lot of damage and had to run away just to, you know, survive. But at least the Vex themselves don't actually do void damage. It's solar damage what they're doing. So as you see, sometimes this happens. The final mine spawns in while you're defusing the second mine, or even the second mine spawns in when you're defusing the first. But the Vex arena is very compact, so it makes it so you can get to these mines and dismantle them in time. Whereas something like the Fallen arena is a bit too big for the dismantle mines, and it makes the difference between, you know, not beating an arena or not, you know, or beating it. And that's definitely important when it comes to Skolas's Revenge at this time, at this moment in time. So I have actually gone ahead and completed one of the Skolas's Revenge arenas. Got a double Orbalite generation there. So yeah, beat one of the Skolas's Revenge arenas. And yeah, it was very, very tight. Let's just say that. But I think the way I'm working now, I mentioned it in the past, is that I'll do the run up to the final boss first, and then I'll do 3 separate videos for the different rotation of modifiers in that boss fight. So then it's like you can see the run up, because the run up's the same every time, hopefully, and then you just can go to whichever boss fight, whichever rotation of modifiers is active on the boss fight. So luckily mine A is in the same spot as it was last time. I don't know if the mines actually do spawn in the same locations, so yeah, they do obviously spawn in the same location, but does the order remain the same? Because in this case it looks like it actually does. So maybe if you get the, you know, order nailed down as well from the first time you have to deal with them, then you can make it a bit easier. Oh, and look at this great accuracy as well. Look at how good that accuracy was. So now you've got to go over to position C here. Plenty of time, might die, but don't worry. Use a strategic super to try and kill the enemies as much as we can. And try and take out those higher health bar enemies as well, since they'll be more problematic. And that was an absolutely awful final hammer throw. Oh yeah, sorry about the sniffling as well. I think I woke up with a runny nose this morning, so I apologise for that. And finally got some rocket ammo. And there's some rocket ammo in the middle as well. Look at that amazing no scope right there. That was a complete miss. But yeah, that was all the that's all we had to do there, so that's pretty good. So now we can focus on getting out of this arena. So again, another 6 minutes. That's why this arena is as long as it is. It just takes a long time, but it's not really difficult. So now we can switch back to the weapons that we like to use. So Haze and Vengeance and Icebreaker in my case. Ready for the next round, which is of course the Fallen. And as you'll notice, Brawler is the modifier, so our melee damage is increased, and of course the door doesn't open, which means we have another boss. So yeah, nothing much to this, just yeah, gotta beat another boss by yourself, which is going to take some time to do. But this boss isn't too bad. It's just some of the enemies that can spawn in that will be problematic. So again, this starting area here is where I usually like to camp, I would say, like right at the beginning, so I don't usually venture off too far from this area. Of course, since we have punches that do more damage, it means you can take out some of these enemies with relative ease if they come in too close for comfort, like these captains for instance. So a little bit of a no scope with the icebreaker and then a punch is enough to kill a captain with an arc shield. So yeah, my strategy usually is to try and kill as many of the enemies as possible, since they will, you know, screw you over. If they get too close, then you can punch them, since your punch damage is increased. So aim for the heads as well, so you get extra damage off. Wait for clusters of enemies to use the rocket launcher. Make use of the mines, I guess, or the cluster bomb effect. Try and go for those precision hits as well. Again, I tried to use a super to kill some of these enemies, but all it really does is just weaken them. So, and then enemies spawned in, so just clobber that vandal in the face. And of course you can punch the enemies and kill them with relative ease. So now it's just a matter of just killing all the enemies again, and then, you know, work from there. Now I'm really getting screwed over here because of that low recovery I mentioned earlier. It does play its part. Try and use a hazing vengeance strategically to kill some bad guys there. So yeah, I mean, it's probably really bully. Oh, look at that vandal, he just got like shot up into the air. Great physics there, Bungie. But yeah, I was gonna say it's like probably boring to watch, but you know, this is kind of like what you would have to go through if you're gonna do this. So yeah, just shoot, 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 punch, reload, shoot some more, rinse and repeat for 6 minutes, and there you go. You should do it. Oh, and there's enemies spawned in again, so just take them out. Of course, I have another super there ready, which is exactly what I used, since that was a tight situation to get past. And now it's just dealing with all the enemies that spawn in. It looks like more of them spawn in now as well, so just gotta take them all out. And my screen's going black again, so I've got to move the mouse. Yeah, it's getting bad when I have to say, oh yeah, I need to move the mouse, because the screen's going to lock on my PC if I don't actually do anything. So yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say. It's just kill the enemies and, you know, try and save a super up. Like here, for instance, there was a couple of bad enemies there. I could have used a super to kill them, but now I have a super, since those major enemies give you extra super power when you kill them. So again, camp spots, go aim for the critical hit spots. It's a bit bugged how, you know, it doesn't get hit by the grenades, and I think that was a double headshot as well, just got the wrong person first, like what's happened before a couple of times. It's tempting that heavy ammo in the middle to get some rockets, but I don't think I'm suicidal enough to actually get it just yet. So yeah, just use your grenades, use your ammo wisely, just keep shooting until the boss dies. So usually it's those captains and vandals that are going to be the worst enemies, since they spawn like right here. So prioritising them is somewhat beneficial. Take them out while you can. And again, because I nearly died, try to use a strategic super. And then Captain White in front of my face. Easy enough to take out. And then just, again, keep shooting at the boss and some of the other enemies. Of course, that Vandal there is being a pain. So now I'm killing other enemies to try and get my super back up in case I ever need to use it again in this boss fight, which I probably do. Somehow I missed that shot, which is a nice break a perk. If you miss a shot, then it comes back to your ammo supply potentially. So I'm just trying to do it as well as I can right now. That Servitor had low health, so one shot is enough to kill him. I think more enemies were about to spawn in, I don't know. So just be aware of that, especially if you don't have any you know, hood when you're aiming down the sights like I am here. Then it's not going to be too difficult for someone to come up and get you. So again, trying to take out some of the enemies, and again it should be around the last wave of reinforcements, since it's usually about, you know, 25% health and all that. And somehow there's a Servitor all the way back here, and you see where he's going to go as well. So and now they spawned in, so screw that, use a super and try and kill some of these guys. Leave one for the final boss. You can just shoot him and he dies instantly, so that's good. And we're in the home stretch at this point, just gotta keep firing. And of course I do have some rockets now as well. I'm getting attacked from the front and the back now, so just trying to take them all out as well as I can. And I think I should have realised I had some rockets and might use them. So now it's like quick reload, got the speed boost, it helps with the reload. And now it's like, yeah, it should be one shot and it's dead. Well, more like 3 shots and it's dead, but we did it, so happy days. Not too difficult, just you gotta be aware of all the enemies that are going to be spawning all over you. So not that difficult. Took nearly 8 minutes to do that, since that's a pretty bad arena to do and you don't really get that good of a modifier to help you out. So now we're going into the airlock again. We've got to see where our next round is going to be, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that it's actually Vex again, of course. So this time around, small arms is on, which is brilliant because your primary weapons do more damage, which is good for me since I've got a pretty good primary that I like to use. And of course, since the Warden AI is here, then we should be able to, you know, notice that it's just going to be like a regular round. So again, what I try and do is run around in case of what the critical objective, just get rid of those mines that slow you down. And there's a whole bunch of them over here, so just try to take them all out. And so we get some more enemies over here. Try and take them out. So yeah, small arms is pretty good for this. It just means, you know, essentially you can one-shot some of the enemies, but of course there's obviously the Minotaurs as well that are going to be problematic, but you can just take them out with relative ease. And obviously if you had a, you know, element avoid exotic adept primary, for instance, then that would be amazing for this specific round, since you'll really be tearing through the enemies. But unfortunately I don't have such a thing, so it's not going to be that easy. Though it's still pretty easy, admittedly. So all I wanted to do is take that mine out, and now it's getting into a good position to see what the critical objective is. And of course it's an important target, so it's going to be a Minotaur that spawns in the middle, so you've got to take him out. And I'll try rocketing them up, but I thought I'd just try and super them up instead. And I fail quite miserably because I'm flying into the level geometry and all that. So obviously my plan of attack there is just focus on the critical objective, and then once that's done, deal with all the other enemies. Cluster of enemies down there, so try and use a rocket to kill most of them. And there's a blue that dropped. So yeah, you'll probably see I don't pick up 2 blue items in this. And I think there's the helmets, because I got maxed out on helmets, so you won't see me go to the reef and see what I actually have, because I know what they are, what I have. So it's like this Minotaur's running away from me, but he's easy enough to defeat. So another wave done. Let's see. Oh, no, I can't even jump up there now. So yeah, great player, can't even jump up a simple ledge. So again, more enemies spawn in the middle, try and haze and vengeance them up. And again, try and do it, but there's a lot of Minotaurs there, but try and use a strategic super to get this guy. And I fail quite miserably at trying to kill him, but get there eventually. So yeah, it's like a whole bunch of enemies on my ass right now. But you can just camp back and get a bunch of them, it's not that bad. And I think a couple of times here it's like I try and throw grenades and it's like, no, you don't actually have a grenade, just keep an eye on, you know, that bottom left bar there. And again, I don't even know why I'm even considering using other weapons to try and take him out, because small arms is on, you might as well just leave your primary as is, you know, just use it and not have to switch to your other weapons whatsoever. That's me getting stuck on something. And now just, yeah, try and kill this Axis Minotaur that's being a pain. Again, not that difficult to take out. Now there's only a couple enemies left and they're down there. So take them out. And happy days, we beat this round relatively easily. So I'm looking around for any other engrams. So just got those there. There's a green back there, so I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely having to get that. And there's a debate about, do I actually get it now, or since the final boss is vexed, do I come back and get it later? But I'm like, nah, I'm getting it now. Oh, wait, then. And there's a blue here, but of course that's a helmet, so that's one of the things that I said earlier. Oh, and my screen's going black again, so I need to move the mouse, of course. You won't be seeing any of that, of course. So, yeah, that's what we've done so far. If you heard any thumping in the background, that was just, I think, my dad practicing darts. So, and also if I was kind of being quiet and droning on a little bit, that's probably what it was, because it would expect me to be doing a hell of a lot of work right now. And admittedly, I do have a lot of work to do, but I have done a fair bit of it at this moment in time, and some of it's already in the past at this point. So I thought I'd be able to commentate on this arena while I can, try and get the video rendered before I have to head back to university, of course. So here at the thing of the hour, the Qodron Gate Lords, reminds me of one of the Soul Progeny guys from Vanilla Destiny. You know, that very memorable boss fight where you killed the same person, like essentially 3 times in a row, and then they say something happens but they don't really show it happening, and then there's a bit of seizure warning there, I apologise, but the quirk behind this arena is that there's this enemy called Qodron's Eye. If you kill him, you get an ability called Jailbreaker, and that's helpful because, as you see here, Qodron searches for targets, and essentially what happens is you'll put in a stasis field, and if you have Jailbreaker, then it means you can get out of this stasis field very easily. Whereas if you don't have Jailbreaker, as you'll see a few times in this arena, I don't actually have it, then it means that it takes a while for you to get out. But thankfully for something like Icebreaker, and you know, you have you know, regenerating ammo and with the potential for missed shots to actually return into the magazine again. Oh god, and I'm nearly dead here. It's like, if that hobgoblin fired a shot, I was dead, and I somehow managed to kill his ass and, you know, pull it off and get through with minimal problems. So I think this is, do I show it here? I swear I do show this like glitch at this stage somewhere. But as you see here, didn't kill Qodron's eye, so now I'm going to get stuck in a stasis field. And as you see, without Jailbreaker, this is how long it takes. Full auto with the Hazing Vengeance, and that's not enough with a full magazine. And I think you have, I think I might have had a, I don't know if you get extra ammo or an extra magazine size for Vision of Confluence, but that it's with whatever perk it is equipped. It might just be extra ammo, to be honest, not an increased magazine, but it just shows you how much ammo you really need to get out of one of these stasis fields. So I guess it promotes trying to deplete Qodron's health as much as you can. Of course, the modifier is Trickle, so the recharge of your abilities and your super is drastically slower than it normally would be. So as you see, there's another Qodron's eye there. It's like, come on, I gotta kill his ass. Okay, got him. Gonna go in the stasis field. 1, 2, 3. Shoot, we're out. So I'm gonna keep a close eye out, I think, at this point for something that does happen, which I guess is another quirk of this arena. But as you see, you can still get a massive increase to your super if you kill the Axis enemies. And of course there's a super there in case I need to use it for any reason, or if I just choose to use it because I want to. So I'm thinking about using a rocket, and that's probably just to get one hobgoblin kill, so it's a bit of a waste. And you've got a couple of harpy kills there with a rocket, which is pretty good. So again, it's just a matter of killing some of the enemies, since, you know, they're going to be very problematic and screw you over. Again, Qodron searches for targets, so for me that's like get the hell to a safe space. And of course now it's like, yeah, it actually does deplete your health as well, so you got to be very careful. And yeah, it's just like a hobgoblin on my ass trying to kill me, so he could have killed me there, but he didn't. So that's just what all you have to do there, is just shoot him in the critical hit spot a few times, and then just go from there. So I think we should be getting around half health at this point, and more reinforcements should spawn in. So I'm just keeping an eye out, because something will happen if you focus on the bottom left of the screen, which is what I'm doing right now. Unless that glitch happens, then you might want to look away from there. But again, I'm trying to search for that Qodron's eye, and you know, I'm not seeing him anywhere, so it's like, okay, just gotta deal with it. And thankfully they don't shoot at you, they just sort of look at you, I guess. And a couple of Axis enemies here, it's like, come on, leave me alone please. And there was the eye the entire time. Bit of a delayed use of the shield there for the hobgoblin, but I guess the idea is you want to be taking that Qodron's eye out when it says that he's gonna you know, search for targets, and that way you have Jailbreaker for a good amount of time. But in my case it's just okay. And as you can see now, another effect of this arena is that your elemental damage on your weapons begins to get negated. So basically it shows up with question marks, so it's like, what elemental damage are you actually dealing right now? And here's another Qodron searches for targets, but we have Jailbreaker, so we're able to break out of this very easily. So I have to apologise again. Similar to the previous arena, there was some distraction that happened. This time around, it's actually this Qodron Live that I said I was using for this video project this time around. And what it ended up doing was it didn't actually load the full video. It only loaded like the first 34 minutes, and I've just had to spend like 5 minutes or so trying to stretch out the clip just so it's the right size, just to be able to continue with this narration. So I'm going to have to figure out where the cut-off point is of the sort of original recording, and then try and splice it together so what I just said actually starts around the right time. I think that's about 34 minutes in, so I'll just like use that as a pointer. But again, there's a Qodron searches for targets, and just pull out Icebreaker, and you know, no scope use it because it's bound to hit the detain field. But yeah, it is very damaging, so you have to pretty much ensure that you can do the damage to destroy that. Oh, and you saw a bit there. You remember I was talking earlier about the glitches? Well, that was a little glitch right there, and there's a Qodron's eye, so yeah, this is it. If you stand in this corner, you can basically like unload a section of the level. So I think I tried to talk earlier about that it being like Portal, where in one of my Portal playthroughs I actually showed something like that happening, where you just like unload a bit of the level and you can look into like the void essentially. That's what's happening there. So that was the glitch I've been bigging up for the entire video. It's a shame that the audio had to have some level of compromise, because this Qodron Live doesn't allow you to import full video projects apparently, and even if you're able to, then it, you know, it's not the full project that I had in the scene. So now I'm getting screwed up again, so it's like, yeah, I've got to just play it very nice and safe and easy. Boss is about 50% health now, so it's just a matter of staying away from the enemies if that jailbreaker's going to be... Oh, no, not jailbreak, but the detain field's going to be active. Since the detain field's going to reduce your health, so you don't want to be in a firefight when that happens and have no health, because it will kill you. Unless, of course, you have jailbreaker, in which case you're able to escape with relative ease. And I think there's another helmet engram around here, so there's 2 helmet engrams I'm not able to get. And of course, as I said earlier, get away from the enemies and use Icebreaker, and that missing a shot as a chance for the shot to return to the magazine is really helpful there. So just get into a nice rhythm. I think even with the elemental effects being negated, I do believe the Icebreaker does the same amount of damage as it did, so I don't think that really has an effect, unless because this was the level 34 version that it would have some effects at that level, but since we're like way over that, the effect's not really noticeable anymore. But that's a nice little interesting feature that you might not even recognize when you're actually playing the game. It's only when someone has to like announce it to you. And here it's like, oh no, I've just used a super and now there's going to be the stasis field, and it's like, well, I got the Qodron's eye kill, so that's what matters. So yeah, we should be coming up to the home stretch of beating this boss now. And he teleported, so that's a glitch, and we killed him. Yeah, we fucking killed his ass. So that's Qodron Gatelord solo, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise if the commentary wasn't on par, as it has been possibly the previous parts that I've done. There's not much to say when you have 3 boss fights over 5 rounds. So 10.5 minutes it took me to do that, just because the boss fight is a bit awkward. It's not that bad, but you know, it's definitely possible. So now hopefully you can do this by yourself if you really wanted to. There's the 2 blue engrams back there that I can't get because I'm full of helmets apparently. And hopefully you know about that glitch now as well, where you can like just unload a portion of the level. Not that that really does anything, that's just like a viewing angle bug, I guess, in Destiny Prisoner of Elders. So, as I always say, as is customary with this series I'm doing, there's a dead ghost here. For the first time you get it, it gives you a grimoire card, but for some reason the dead ghost is always there, so if you need it, then that's where it is. And so by doing the level 34 Forever Eater arena, we get a weapon core, Etheric Light, and in this case I got the Wolfborn Oath and the Mark of the Kelslayer. So yeah, you get a hell of a lot of Mark of the Kelslayers for doing this, but it's pretty much worthless, as it's like level 30 or something, and it's just not helpful whatsoever. Well, level 20 even, which is even worse.
If only they cap the level at level 20, then you can actually use that stuff and it'll be helpful to you. But no, it's not the case. So that is the Forever Eater Arena. 395 kills to 0 deaths. Pretty good. And I'm going to show you what happens when you dismantle the weapon core. And I'm exceedingly close to leveling up the House of Judgment. I'm pretty sure I was able to do it behind the scenes though, but it doesn't matter. That's the rewards that I got, and this has been Qodron Gatelord soloed. So all I really have to say, ladies and gentlemen, is thank you for watching this video. Like, comment and subscribe and all that for other videos, and have a great day and all that good stuff. 2 items at the postmaster, since that's the helmets, and have a great day. See you later.